Hello everyone, hope you have a great day. Let us delve into the topic. So, first of all, what is VPC? That is nothing but a virtual private cloud. So, Amazon VPC is your own private network inside the Amazon Web Service where you can place and organize your resources like EC2 servers, databases, and etc. So let us compare it with a real world example. Okay, so imagine you are building a new housing colony. So this is a most popular example when it comes to explaining VPC concepts related to cloud computing. So I'm also using the same. So let us assume that you are building a new housing colony. So first of all, what you will do, you will set a boundary, right? So the colony boundary wall is what VPC is. So that means you are keeping everything inside private and secure. So inside this colony, you can decide where to place a house or if you want parks or shops, just like you decide subnets inside a VPC. So talking about subnets, what is subnets? So first of all, subnet is a smaller section of VPC network where you keep related resources. Subnets can be public, that means that it is accessible through internet, or private, that means only internal applications can be used without the access to internet. So let us compare it with a real world example. Okay. So inside the colony, that means inside the VPC, you want to keep one public and one private. Okay, let's assume like that. Okay, so that means inside the colony, you want one street for shops or visitors, and another street is for residential house. So for shop, you want outsiders to come and get things from your shop. So that means public. Only if it was allowed to be public, outsiders can come to your shop, right? Then another is for residential houses. In residential houses, what you can do, you want to keep everything in a private. So that means you don't want outsiders to come to your house, right? You want outsiders to come to your shop but not to your house. That means you will keep shop in a public and a house in a private. So that is what VPC has two public and private subnets. Okay, let's assume like let's okay, so what you will be doing in a public subnet in VPC, you can keep or host a EC2 web instances. So for example, if you're hosting a website in EC2 web instance, what happens, users can access to your website through internet, and but you want to keep some data or any tax related information in a private way. That means you will keep those things as a data in a database server in a private subnet. Okay, if you want things to keep in a safe, secure way, in a private way, you will keep those things in a private subnet, while you want outsiders to access to your website or any other if you're having a video streaming platform, so you will keep those things in a public subnet with internet access. Okay, so talking about internet, we have to talk about what is an internet gateway as well. So internet gateway is like a bridge between your VPC and the outside internet. So without internet gateway, your colony, that means VPC, has no road connecting to the city. That means internet, you cannot access to internet if you're not having an internet gateway. So for example, there was a main entrance gate inside the colony. Okay, so if you don't have a gate, outsiders cannot enter and you cannot go out. So adding an internet gateway is like building that main gate to connect the colony with the outside world. Okay, so if users want to connect to your public subnet, or you want to go for outside to get updates or some other thing, you have to have internet gateway to get access to internet. Okay, and then there is coming a NAT gateway. So if you're in a public subnet, you can get access to internet or some other things. But what happens if you want to access an internet with private? But private subnet does not get access to internet gateway directly. So there is a thing called NAT gateway, which allows a private subnet resources to go out to the internet but stops outsiders from entering. So that means there is a side gate in your colony where residents can exit to shop but strangers can't enter. So database servers in a private subnet can download OS patches securely. So next, what are route tables? So route tables are the maps that define traffic flow inside the VPC. So think there is a road signboards in a colony telling vehicles where to go. Okay, so public subnet route to the internet gateway, while private subnet routes to the NAT gateway. Okay, and then we go for security groups and NACL. Of course, we have the name itself telling that it means for a secure, that is firewall, that is controlling the traffic. Okay, security group acts at the instance level while NACL acts at the subnet level. Okay, for example, think security group as a guard at a house. For each house, there was a guard security group, and for entire houses or for in the colony, there was a guard at the colony entrance. So that is NACL. That means security group is guard at your house level. NACL is guard at the colony entrance level. Okay. For example, the security groups allows only port 80 or 443 for web servers, while NACL blocks the unwanted IP ranges. Next, we go for VPC peering. So, VPC peering connects two VPCs directly so they can talk privately. So, something so funny and interesting, right? So, for example, a small private road connecting two colonies. That means a private road is there to connect two colonies. For example, your finance VPC can talk securely with your HR VPC without using the internet. That is what we are saying it as a private road connecting two colonies. So, what is a transit gateway? A transit gateway is a central hub to connect multiple VPCs on on-premise networks. We have seen that VPC peering is connecting two VPCs, but here transit gateway is like a central hub to connect multiple VPCs on on-premise networks. So, for example, big highway junction connecting many colonies at once. Not only your colony with the road, but many colonies at once. Okay. For example, an enterprise with 10 VPCs connect all through one transit gateway instead of creating many peering links. Okay, so first let us all compare it with a very simple, easy way. Okay. For example, you are hosting a website means first of all you have to create a VPC, that is colony boundary, and you have to add a public subnet and private subnet, that is for one is for web server and another is for database, and you must attach internet gateway, that is main gate where users can reach website, and then you must add NAT gateway, that is side gate where private servers also want to get updates, right? So in a secure way. So that is thing, and then you have to configure route tables to guide those traffic. Okay, and if you of course you have to protect the resources with security groups and NACLs, and then you have to connect multiple VPCs with peering or transit gateway if needed. Okay, first of all let's understand what is VPC. That is colony boundary. Public subnet, that is web server, that is accessible via internet gateway. Private subnet, database, that means goes out only through NAT gateway. And then route tables, that is decide who goes where. And then security groups and NACL, that is what? Guards. VPC peering, that means connecting two colonies. Transit gateway, that means high junction for many colonies. Okay, so this was the thing. Thank you.